Today's episode of Nerd Soup is sponsored by NordVPN. Start protecting your internet experience today with 77% off a 3-year plan by using code NERDSOUP at nordvpn.com/nerdsoup. NordVPN is the only VPN service that I've used over the past couple of years. It's the only one that I truly trust. I take my internet privacy very seriously, especially since we're living in a world where government officials in charge of Homeland Security can be hacked. Online hackers are like the modern-day versions of John Dillinger or Pretty Boy Floyd. The only difference is that you can't see them coming, so that's why I use NordVPN. I'm a safety freak. I still don't ride a bike without training wheels, and I don't surf the web without a VPN. Now, those of you who frequently watch our videos are probably familiar with NordVPN, but for those who aren't, let me give you some backstory. NordVPN is a VPN service that works to protect your information while you're on the internet. That's what VPNs do. They provide you with a peer-to-peer network that works to secure your information, your IP address, your passwords, your banking information. All that personal information that is up for grabs can easily be protected by using a VPN, and NordVPN is the cream of the crop. They are the only VPN to get a perfect score from PC Mag. They use military-grade encryption to protect your information, and they have thousands of servers in over 61 countries. You can use Nord in the comfort of your home while you're on your desktop, or you can use their Android and iOS apps while you're out in public. They provide you with 6 simultaneous connections, so that's 6 of your devices, all secured and protected. So consider protecting your internet privacy today by visiting nordvpn.com/nerdsoup. And remember, if you use the promo code NERDSOUP, you will receive 77% off a 3-year plan. So sign up today and start protecting your internet experience. Game of Thrones Season 2, Episode 10, the finale, Valar Morghulis. And I just want to say, the first time I heard Jaqen say that, it's like, you give this coin to a man from Braavos and you say Valar Morghulis. I was like, let's see if I can remember it. Season 4 came along. Vachuki Makako.
That's Dothraki?
Yeah.
I always try to do that too, like when in a movie when someone's like, remember this, like this phrase or this name or this code or this password, and they use it like an hour later in the movie, and I have no idea what, I can't remember it.
No, yeah.
Like, I'd be fucking dead.
Yeah, in those situations, I'm like, I would have just been stuck on that beach with the dying hound. I would have went back to him and been like, hey, how you doing, buddy? Gonna patch that up for you?
Sun's getting real low.
Turns into the pup. So yeah, Season 2, it's finally here, the end. And it's bittersweet for me because this is my favorite season. Like Game of Thrones has become famous for, the calm after the storm, after the penultimate episode. This episode begins with Tyrion Lannister awakening from the battle. And I love this first shot where you could see it in his eyes. You could still hear the swords clashing.
Fire.
It's that the fire in his eyes and the simple blink, and he's back to being Tyrion.
How long do you think Pycelle was standing there for?
He loved that, man. He just loved to rub it in.
Yeah.
Flips in the coin. He's like, for your troubles.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. What an asshole.
Yeah, Pycelle gives him the rundown. He's like, yeah, you're no longer hand of the king. We won. Your dad came in, won the battle. Just mocking him the whole time. And he's not like the Lord Tyrion Pycelle. He's just standing up straight. He's speaking well.
Noticed, I noticed that he's not playing the role anymore. He's just being himself. What are you going to do about it, Tyrion? Because you no longer have power.
Yeah. And
then it goes, that first shot with Tywin when he's trotting into the throne room, and his horse just takes a shit right there on screen. It just shows the command that Tywin has. He doesn't care. Let his horse shit in the throne room. You showed me respect. I'm not showing you respect. And it's almost like his humility, the way that he carries himself. He carries it in a way that I'm better than you.
Yeah.
It's not him being humble. It's just I'm so much better than you that I don't even have to be arrogant.
That isn't. It's ironic because that is arrogant.
Right, exactly. He's so unarrogant that he's arrogant.
Wow.
Yeah. Just threw you for a loop there, right?
Yeah. Tywin could pull it off.
Yeah.
And obviously he's named Hand of the King, and finally Littlefinger gets his hands on Harrenhal.
I love the crowd, too. They're all like, ooh. Ooh, this is a good castle. A lot of people get this. Great line by Littlefinger, too. Talk about a character that knows how to control a room.
Yes, working it.
All your sons and grandsons. Oh, first I must acquire sons and grandsons. Varys, it's not even good material.
Well, I mean, that's the first step of his greater... Well,
it's an important step.
He's been taking, an important step. Now he's a high lord, and that gives him, I guess, the esteem to marry someone like Lysa Arryn.
Yes. the Iron Throne of wives. You
It's
know what's
kind of-
funny? If you showed this scene to somebody who didn't watch Game of Thrones, it comes off as very corny and cheesy if you don't know that they're all being disingenuous.
Yeah, it's such a disingenuous. Like, look at Joffrey. If you're just watching that scene, you're like, oh, he's a nice guy. He doesn't want to leave his betrothed. It's a very honorable thing to do. But Joffrey's just trying to play the part, I guess. He's like, well, I can't leave Sansa, even though he doesn't give a shit about Sansa, obviously, as we've seen.
Even the way he's flirting with Marjorie when she says, I've heard tales of your honor and your courage on the battlefield, and Joffrey says, I've heard tales of your beauty, but the tales don't do you justice. He's got a little swagger going on there. And once we see the innocence of Sansa, where she thinks that she's out of the deal, that Joffrey might ship her back home because they're no longer going to be married. And Cersei is the first one to speak up, which is interesting to me. It could be seen as she's sticking up for Sansa, that she does care for Sansa and wants to get her out of this marriage. But strategically, I guess it doesn't matter if she's marrying Joffrey or not, as long as they still have her in King's Landing.
Basically, she's more important as a hostage anyway. I mean, you're at war with her brother. It's
What Littlefinger says to her.
Wishful thinking to be that happy when... And Littlefinger, he tells her the bitter truth. It's like, hey, what do you think Joffrey's going to do? I mean, Joffrey's not one to give away his toys. And you see him kind of planting his little seeds inside Sansa, trying to build that trust, because that proves to be an important relationship in later seasons.
Yeah, and even here, Sansa is reluctant to accept his help. And then she regrets it later in Season 3. The climb speech that Littlefinger gives. Best speech.
Well, she does that a couple times this season with Tyrion, when Tyrion remarks, Sansa Stark, you'll survive us yet. She says what she thinks people want to hear her say. Or if anything got back to Cersei, she always tries to say the right thing. Like, King's Landing is my home now.
This is one of my favorite scenes of the episode, Varys visiting Raz. When Raz figures out who this is, she becomes terrified. And you can only imagine the reputation that this man carries in King's Landing, where she knows right away as soon as she feels his thigh. She gets up, she takes a step back, and it's not a physical presence, but it's that power that you know that he carries, that he can undo you at any moment because of the spy network that he possesses, and just the knowledge that he has. And knowledge is power, especially in this scene.
Well, power is power, as a terrific person once said. I love that look Varys gives to Raz when she touches him. What?
Oh, that look, that is a funny-ass look.
Yeah. He's like,
The way that shot, too, it pans up, and he's like,
you know who I am now.
there's nothing dangerous down there.
No, it's
then it goes back to what Cersei said. Do you know what makes Varys so dangerous? It's because he doesn't have a cock, and it allows him to focus on more important things.
Yeah, and it's the beginning of that relationship between him and Raz, where he uses her against Littlefinger and get information against him.
And you don't like this. I remember one time you complained that, why is Raz playing the game with the big boys? They brought her up from the minors, and she wasn't ready.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just like a throwaway character. I mean, we see her in Winterfell, and then she goes down south, and they kind of give her this pretty important storyline.
I like it.
It's fine. It's just...
I like how it backfires, especially in the scene in Season 3. It might be one of the best scenes of the show.
What, the ladder?
Yeah.
You just keep going back to that, huh?
I fucking love that. I can't wait to review that scene.
Chaos is a ladder.
And Jaime is still alive. And I think I said this in the episode where Catelyn frees him, that this is such a good cliffhanger in the book because it's the first chapter of Book 3, and we don't know Jaime's fate at the end of Book 2. He could be alive, he could be dead. And this is the beginning of the relationship that builds between Jaime and Brienne. And here, Jaime's just being a terrible person, insulting her, trying to bait her to get her to fight. She's just not giving in to the insults. And you have to think this is something that she's been dealing with her entire life.
Yeah, she's been used to it. I mean, in the books, we get all that backstory. Did they touch on it on the show? Like her at that party at the castle, and they had to bet against all the High Lords are asking her to dance. And
I think
like
they
a whole
do
game.
that in the show, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's definitely been dealing with this her whole life. But I love this scene, too, because they come across the three bodies, and they're Starkmen. It just shows how the black and white on each side, just how muddled war is. You know, we're rooting for the Starks against the Lannisters, but it doesn't mean every Stark man is a good guy.
Yeah, and I love the line, too, leading up to when they see the three hanging bodies, where Jaime is talking to Brienne about there were probably men who tried to forcibly have sex with you. They would throw you down, but you would be able to fight them off. I bet one time that you wish that they would win, so you would know what it was like to be a woman. And then you see the three bodies, and it's like, this is what it's like to be a woman in Westeros.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Brienne says, I hope you gave them quick deaths, and he says, 2 of them. You could see Brienne just...
And he's like smirking at her.
Yeah, and what that scene implies, I mean, we know, it's so fucked up.
And she knows too. I think that's why she keeps, even though she does serve Lady Catelyn, I mean, I think she keeps saying that because she doesn't want to see the realness of war. Bit of a shock, I would say. So I think she keeps telling herself, oh, I serve Lady Catelyn. I'm not serving animals or...
somebody does recognize him, one of the three men, and like you said, Brienne just has a field day on them. And we're finally, I mean, we saw the fight with her and Lawrence, but here we're seeing her take on 1-on-3, and it's very impressive. And even Jaime is kind of thrown back. He says to her, those were Stark men. What are you doing? And she says, listen, I don't serve the Starks. I serve Lady Catelyn. This scene, it's Rob. It's when you have something over on your parents and you're just trying to get them to agree with you because your parent knows that they made a mistake, and Catelyn's just not giving in. He's just trying to get the confirmation to go ahead and marry Talisa, and Catelyn just keeps telling him, listen, this is a bad idea. If you treat your oaths recklessly, so will the people who follow you.
That's a good point, and Rob kind of
Rob,
snaps back.
Yeah. Oh, recklessly? Oh, like you freeing our most valuable prisoner?
It's a nice little foreshadowing of her saying it's not wise to cross Walder Frey.
Catelyn is giving him prudent advice here, but he's not taking it because, one, he's going with his heart instead of his head, and two, his mom is not somebody that he believes he can trust in this moment. Even though I still think he believes that he can trust her, but he's using her mistake. He's hanging that over her head so that he can follow his heart, which is a dumb thing to do. Stannis with Melisandre. Great scene, because Stannis, he calls himself a savage that's now following a Red Priestess. He's basically signed his soul away to the Red God. And what does he get? He gets defeat.
Yeah, I love the scene as well, because she continues her manipulation. And then I love that scene when they're both looking into the fire. And she's like covered over his back. It's like, yeah, I'm showing him some good shit right now. And Stannis just has that, it looks in awe. It's like, I see it. It's like he's finally actually seeing some hope. Maybe it's not all lost. It lost the battle, but we got a big war coming.
And they do foreshadow here that Melisandre is a lot older than she says she is. Because Stannis says, how long have you been fighting? And she says, a lot longer than you have. And even when he's choking her out, I thought the first time I saw this, I was like, oh, he's just going to kill her. That's the end of Melisandre. But watching these scenes in the earlier season makes me just so disappointed with where his character went in the show. Because even the scene where he's looking at the fire in the visions, he saw something there. And I know sometimes in Game of Thrones, when you see visions, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come true. Did he just see himself dying at the hand of Brienne and that just turned him on? Or did he see himself fighting against the Night King?
I don't know, but you got to think maybe Melisandre.
But I do love the ambiguity of the visions and the flames. And I don't want to know what he saw, but I want to know why they butchered his character arc.
It's like, oh yeah, we're winning a big battle, or beat the Feet Mance Raider, and he's liking it, he's watching it, he's getting it all in. He's like, oh, this is good stuff. And just fast forwards a little bit. She's like, oh, what was that part right there? It's like, oh, no, we don't need to see that.
No. Fast forward to
is
the
that Shireen? It's like, no, just
no. That's
look at this flame. Look at this flame.
Look at this. It's Battle of the Bastards. Oh, that's me. It's really Jon Snow. It's like, yeah. You're gonna get a man bun. Your hair's gonna grow back.
Teddy level Photoshop status.
His head is just bobbing around trying to match up with Jon's. And this scene with Theon and Maester Luwin, even after all Theon's done in this scene, you could see that Maester Luwin still cares about him. That he's still trying to advise him, dude, you've put yourself in a corner here. You only have one way out, and that's to run. And Theon I love when he curses about the guy in the horn. He's like, to the old gods, to the new gods, to every fucking god, I'll kill that son of a bitch.
If that's all it takes, to get rattled in a siege, I'd be pretty good at siege defense. I could sleep through anything.
No, I would be freaking out. I would be on edge like Theon. That guy just blowing the horn, knowing that 500 men are surrounding your castle, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I mean, I can't sleep now just thinking about when I have to review the next episode of Game of Thrones.
It is a great scene, though. I like Theon just talking about how lucky it was to be the captors of the Starks and how lucky he was. He still is a captor, and then going home and finding out your father's a piece of shit that doesn't love you. It's heartbreaking. It's a great job in this scene, Alfie Allen. Especially
he's a great actor.
With that, that little monologue, and he's looking off the side of the camera with Luwin in the background.
Yeah, and Luwin tells him that he's not the man that he's pretending to be. And Theon says, I basically have no choice. I agree with you. I am not this man. I made a mistake. But what do I do now? Do I just give in? He says, no, I'm going to go out there, Luwin, and I'm going to give the best goddamn speech that you've ever heard in your life. The best speech since Tyrion's speech in the last episode. Okay? So watch this. And he does. He gives a hell of a speech, man.
Good speech. I would have fought for him.
He said, our names will echo through eternity. That's a bar. That's a 7 years ago type bar. When he wrote that and he had tucked the speech in his pocket, he pulled that out. And I love the line, too, by Dagmere. And one of his men says, I thought he was never going to shut up. And Dagmere's, it's a good speech. I didn't want to interrupt him. And Luwin, once again, like I said previously, that Luwin doesn't give up on him. He's trying to help Theon here. He's still, even though he hates what Theon has done, he doesn't want to see Theon die. He rushes in and he gets stabbed by Dagmere, so fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Even though I liked him in The Witch, but you're going to stab Maester Luwin, one of my favorite characters.
Oh, yeah, that follows you through every project you do for the rest of your life.
That you stab Maester Luwin?
Yep.
Yeah, I know. It's a guy that stabbed Maester Luwin. Oh, I hate that guy.
Yeah, he sucks.
Great name, though. Now, in this scene with Varys and Tyrion, we said last episode, I always assumed it was Littlefinger who sent Sir Mandon to kill Tyrion on the battlefield.
Yeah, it's very up in the air. I mean, because at this point, it's, especially looking back to now with the way things turned out, especially with Varys and and Tyrion, it's kind of like, oh, why would he lie to him and say it was Cersei? I think it makes sense. I mean, he's not expecting him to be thrown in prison for killing Joffrey. I don't think that's crossed his mind. But at this point, probably like, if I can dive a wedge and show Tyrion maybe he's not as loved by his family and that really his talents are going to waste in King's Landing, he can use that to maybe take him and convince him to join Daenerys or Aegon in the books.
So you're saying basically Varys uses it to his advantage.
Yeah.
And Littlefinger, I think he just feels threatened by Tyrion too. That's why he would do it.
Well, yeah, and Sir Mandon, he came from the Vale, so there's a connection there with Littlefinger. Tyrion has slighted him before. He promised him Harrenhal and went back on that. And then I think in the books, Tyrion like hints at, when they have that conversation, he hints that he may know what happened to Jon Arryn. That surprises Littlefinger in the book. And Littlefinger is not often caught surprised. Maybe he thinks Tyrion knows something.
I think anybody in the loop can assume what happened to Jon Arryn. But I guess Tyrion knows the true truth, like the super
I'm not
truth.
sure if he knows in the books, but I think he says that he may know what happened, and Littlefinger's like, oh shit, I'm screwed. I gotta kill this guy. And Tyrion is just a very capable leader, and so Littlefinger, the less capable people in King's Landing, is better for him.
This scene always makes me sad too, because if Tyrion didn't have a different ending where he doesn't end up with Daenerys, the fact that he was so important to saving the city, and Varys tells him that the history books won't remember you, nobody's going to know your name, but we will remember what you did, meaning the people that were here. It's just so sad how people can be written out of the history books even though they made their contributions.
Yeah.
And in this moment, Tyrion's figuring out that all his allies are gone, Bronn no longer leads the city watch, the hill tribes have been sent home.
He's breaking this news to Tyrion, just showing him how basically useless he is now.
One last thing to gain Tyrion's trust in this moment. Like you said, he's alienating him from his family, and then he also brings him Shae. And in scenes like this is why I think that they were truly in love, because why would Shae say, let's leave? I guess it is maybe a safer option. I know that this man is rich. If we leave, he's going to bring a ton of money. We're going to live comfortably for the rest of our lives. But Shae's got some options here. She's in the Red Keep. She's got a job with Sansa Stark. This is probably her best option, going to Pentos with Tyrion. So that's why I think that she does truly love him, because I think she's trying to protect him. Listen, you suck at fighting wars, fighting soldiers. You're not a fighter. And Tyrion says, I'm not a fighter, I'm a thinker.
Well, she's protecting herself, too, because without Tyrion, she's toast.
Right, but it never comes off as disingenuous.
Could be a mix of both, Maybe she does have something for Tyrion, but at the same time, she has to worry about herself as well.
But in the book, it's clear that Shae could care less about Tyrion. Because she's just like a dumb girl that Tyrion goes and visits every so often, and they like fuck, and then he leaves.
And she yells at him.
Right. She's like, oh, where's my fancy stuff? When am I going to come live in the castle? In the show, there's a relationship there. There's the chemistry between them that's not there in the book.
And I think it's more apparent too in the book. Tyrion is not the best looking chap in the book.
Yeah, well, why did they cut off his nose?
Yeah. Well, it's Peter Dinklage. He's a good-looking guy. You can't cut that nose off.
No, they could cut Renly's peach, though.
It didn't add to it, really. Just give him a badass scar.
Yeah, I love that scar.
Yeah.
And when she unwraps it, she's like, you're a mess. It's like, yeah, but I'm your mess, girl. And this marriage, Robb and Talissa under the 7.
That pisses me off so much.
Yeah, Robb's a Tully, man.
I don't get why.
Because he's a sellout.
What's the point? It's either D&D just completely...
Sounds cooler.
We hear the old gods and the new, like it's always it's synonymous with the Starks. Jon takes his vows with the old gods. That makes no fucking sense. It's either lazy.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's a better ceremony.
A fucking 10-second ceremony that no one fucking remembers. Yeah, that really resonates with the audience.
I don't know. You go on YouTube.
You think any non-book reader watch it's like, wow, that's a hell of a ceremony. I love this scene. No, people, you can do anything, and it just pisses off me. I'm mad online right now, and I'm not happy about it. Every time I see it, it makes me upset.
And Dany and Jorah go into the House of the Undying.
Don't just brush over that. Say something.
It doesn't really upset
Agree
me.
With me.
I don't.
Oh, you get mad about a fucking peach, but this is something that...
No, the peach thing doesn't... I just say that as a joke, because that's an online thing. Everybody complains about the peach, and I find it so silly. But Stannis' character arc, now that's something I could get heated about. But it's a wedding. You're a sick fuck, man. Dany and Jorah to the House of the Undying, and that ambiguity of the Game of Thrones world, man. The magic where you don't know what's going on. You're kind of going in circles like the prison in Thor. It's one of those freaky circles that never ends. Dany just finds herself inside. Oh, okay.
Cool. We're referencing Korg a lot on Nerd Soup.
Get out of here,
I
Ghost.
don't hate it. It was piss off, Ghost.
Yeah, we'll get back to this. We'll get back to the freaky circle in a little bit. But this, another great scene. When I first saw this, it's like Stannis. When I watch the old Stannis scenes, when I watch these scenes with Arya and Jack and Hagar, it makes me so disappointed with how this ends up in season 5 and season 6. I think this is the most underwhelming part of the show for me, is how Arya goes through her training with the Faceless Men. Because it's the classic case of, when you pull back the curtain on something that's mysterious and ambiguous, it can be underwhelming because you're learning the secrets. But if you just give us some secrets and still keep it a mystery, you go half and half, you could still make that really interesting and cool. And it really felt lazy in season 5, and especially season 6.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. How Jaqen's like, if a girl has a lot of names on her list, come with me and I can show you. And it's kind of like a cool moment. And then she, like, as much as she wants to, she can't because she needs to go find her brother, find her mother.
Yeah,
and
she
even
still
Sansa,
thinks that there's a
Sansa
chance.
too.
Right, yeah. And it's tempting. It's a tempting offer. Come with me and learn to be one of the most dangerous people in the world.
Come with me.
What's that?
Little Willy Wonka.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you can kill beyond your wildest imaginations. Take a face. Yeah, but like I said in the beginning, he flips to the coin. He says, say these words, and you get on a boat to Bravos, and they'll bring you directly to me, kid. Thank God she has a good memory, because I don't.
And it's cool. I mean, and Jaqen shows off the ability of the Faceless Man, and you see him turn around, come back, and it's someone got. I'm like,
first time I saw this,
I think he just keeps a bunch of faces. Now that we know how they do him, he has a bunch of faces.
See, that's stupid too. I always thought it was just like the glamour.
Yeah.
But now you have to put on the face. It's like, oh, it's too tight. Return it. Use free shipping. Yeah, they'll take it back.
Because of a large.
Yeah, you got. The nostrils are too small. I can't breathe in this.
Put it in the dryer. It'll shrink a little.
It's like the Django scene when they cut the holes in the mask. I can't see. I can't kill anyone if I can't see. And the Stark boys, when they find Maester Luwin, well, first they're walking around the ruins of Winterfell, and this is when it first gets burned down. And it's when they're walking away from the castle and it's burning in the background, it always breaks my heart because you have the Stark theme playing in the background. And this is the last time a Stark is going to be at Winterfell for 2 seasons. It's not until Sansa goes back and look at the conditions that she returned to. So this is really the start of the hardships for House Stark. And it doesn't get better in season 3.
Yeah.
And Lewin's death always makes me cry. This is
it's a very sad one. He's such a great character. He's part of he's a Stark.
He is.
He's intertwined with that family, and to see him go, and just the love that Bran and Rickon have to him. Rickon runs right over, and they're trying to do everything to like convince him, not to die, but he finally asks Osha to end it.
He might be the most pure person that we've seen in the show. Out of everyone. Him and Aemon. We've never seen Maester Luwin make a controversial decision where you could say this is something that a bad person would do. I mean, obviously there are characters who are good that make bad decisions, but not Luwin. And now we go to Daenerys entering the House of the Undying with all her visions and some cool magical moments. I was getting ready to come on this recording and complain about all the stuff that they cut, but I have a new way of looking at it. I just assume that all that stuff did happen. That's just what we see.
Yeah.
But all the things that she foreshadowed, because you have to take into account, they have budget. You have to pay actors. You would have to get actors to play Rhaegar and Elia. And
imagine
young Robert.
I didn't read the books at this point. Imagine being a book reader just waiting like, oh, we're gonna see Rhaegar.
We're gonna see Rhaegar and Elia.
And then
the Battle of the Trident. And I mean, we've talked about this so many times when preparing for season 6 and season 7 and probably season 8 when she walks into the Red Keep and the throne room has been destroyed and winter has come. She goes to touch the throne. And I've always said that I think Daenerys is going to die in season 8. And this could foreshadow that. But what do you make about these sequences?
A lot of people point to the fact that she goes to touch the throne, but she never actually grabs it.
Yes.
As a metaphor for her actually never getting to sit the Iron Throne. I'm not sure, because it all depends on what the showrunners were thinking at this point. If they wanted to show some prophecy or just wanted to show some cool imagery. Like, oh, that's the Iron Throne, like it's destroyed and it's snowing. And, oh, here's Drogo and Rhaego.
Well, she does go past the wall in the book, right? Because she sees the blue rose.
Yeah.
And then David Lynch comes out and says, Daenerys, in order for you to take the Iron Throne, Jon Snow is your nephew. So she goes past the wall and she sees Drogo and Rhaego. And another cool scene from the book, too, is when she sees Rhaego, but he's a man and he's conquering cities and he's got the silver hair and the Dothraki complexion. And I love the fan art for that, too.
It's so great.
But this is a great scene, though. I love what happens in the House of the Undying.
I like it, too.
We love Marvel.
Oh, no. Trust me, we love Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we love
Season 7.
We love
underrated.
the showrunners.
Rhaego got fucking some sick lettuce.
He did have some. Yeah, he was.
Baby with a fucking flowing locks.
Yeah. Oh my God, he had better hair than Jon Snow.
They couldn't make it silver D&D. Come on.
Oh my fucking God.
No, it's
the
very.
seed is strong with Drogo.
It's a very emotional scene too, when Daenerys just looks shaken up, and Drogo's talking about just how he told the Great Stallion, "Fuck off," and I'm waiting here for you.
Yeah, and he's got great lines. He says, whoever tries to wake me up from this dream, I'll kill him. She's like, oh, that's so like you, Drogo.
Imagine he just goes back to season 1, and one of his blood daughters is like, hey, wake up, we gotta go. He just fucking goes up and stabs him.
It's Daenerys trying to wake him up. Drogo, we have to go hunt. And this is cool. I love this shot where she's chained up, but the dragons, when they give her that look, she looks back at them, and all three of them look at her like, oh, you want us to get this man? Yo, he giving you problems, girl? All right, we'll take him out. It's the first sign that the dragons really help her. Even those little bursts of fire.
What the fuck was his plan? It's like, oh, let me just, like...
Well, I think they're just underestimating the dragons at this point.
Yeah.
They're just taunting them and thinking, no, they can't really spit fire anyway.
He starts fucking... Give me a beat.
They put on Mob Deep Shook Ones.
First of all,
fuck your house and the magic you claim. Oh, Valyria, when we come equipped with flame.
I love Ja Rule.
It's not a foreshadowing, but there's another great scene, and obviously in the next season that I can't wait to get to. It's probably the most metal scene of Game of Thrones. A dragon is not a slave. And this was almost the preview for that, the prequel.
Wait, you talking about episode 4?
Oh, yeah, it's a great moment.
I think it's like top 3 for me.
I would agree.
Episode.
I would agree. It's definitely a top 30 for me. And what do you think about Half-Am? Because I've seen complaints online, especially in the scenes because Game of Thrones is the perfect YouTube show where you can just look up one scene and enjoy it. Westworld's like that too. So many great single scenes that you can enjoy. Every time I look up Half-Am scenes, it's always book readers complaining that he didn't get enough burn on the show.
What do you want? A whole fucking side plot?
But the death to me is very impactful. It always makes me sad when Jon is forced to kill him. Because when you go back to that scene where he's reunited with Sansa in season 6, and he's like, I've killed men in the Night's Watch, I've killed wildlings, I've killed men that I admire. I always thought Mance Rayder, but then you look back and it goes back to Qhorin as well.
What was that voice for Jon?
Men that I admire. That's how he says it.
I've killed brothers of the Night's Watch, I've killed wildlings, I've killed men that I admire. I hanged a boy younger than Bran.
All right. All right, man.
I haven't done my Jon in a long time, okay?
You start practicing. It just shows the Half-Am's plan, and it's just that's next step for Jon to earn some trust with the wildlings. I mean, right after it happens...
Lord of Bones cuts him free. Q-Bone.
Yeah, cuts him free.
Q-Bone.
So you could tell Mance Rayder, that's the man that killed the Half-Am. That's a good
That's
fucking...
your egret?
That's a great egret.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I'm not a good accent guy. I don't have an ear for it.
I was just going to make a dark joke, but I'll just keep that to myself. I'll tell my therapist about it tomorrow. Yeah, but it is sad. It's impactful when he stabs him and Qhorin Half-Am whispers to him, we are the watchers on the wall. Jon, and I think Ygritte, even in this moment, is looking at him like, yeah, you're full of shit, but you're hot, so I'm going to defend you. Ygritte's thinking with her cock.
Imagine that
shouldn't do that.
Imagine that was in Half-Am's plan. In a different plan, Jon just misread the whole situation. It's like, oh, no, I was supposed to be the one.
No, I was going to kill you.
Yeah.
But you were saying negative things about me.
No, yeah, do what has to be done. Die.
Oh. Maybe Qhorin was the prince who was promised.
Well, maybe not quite the prince that was promised, but have you ever read the fan theory that he's actually Arthur Dayne?
No.
There's some wild fan theories out there. And people do make compelling cases. Like, they'll piece together, like,
but I hate when people
things.
are so adamant that stupid theories are real.
Like Mance Rayder, Rhaegar.
And when Zorro gets woken up in the middle of the night, he's sleeping with Doreah, having some sweet dreams, and he wakes up to Daenerys with the 3 dragons. Whew, she's killing it. She's got her whole squad.
Tries to get up and join us. No.
No. Did you brush your teeth before bed?
Stay right there. Yeah, and it's all a lie. They find out. They go to the vault, completely empty. It's a pretty fucked up way to die if you think about it.
I like that too because Zorro is just... It's the lie of his success. It goes back to what Varys said to Tyrion earlier in the season, that power resides where men believe it resides. That's what Zorro Daxos was. He was the shadow on the wall. He told people that he was rich and wealthy, and they believed it. So to me, it's impressive.
Was it just his reputation?
Well, I think he built his house. He kept building his house. And what does he do exactly? He has ships?
Business?
He does business stuff?
Yeah.
He's not the king of anything. He's not like the Spice King.
Well, it's King Karth now.
Well, I like that too because we don't know how he got to this position. He says he's done some terrible things. So, like Stannis, he's maybe made a deal with the devil. He was obviously in cahoots with Piat Pri, and his band of wackos. I always love that when they open it and there's just nothing in there, and that is one of the worst ways to die. The second worst way to die is being chased up an endless flight of stairs by a guy with a knife.
That's not practical.
I don't know, man. Have you played Fortnite? There's a lot of stairs, infinity stairs.
Never played Fortnite, but what would you do? You get locked away. You're Zaro. You just said, oh, fuck it. Do you eat Daria for an extra
I don't want to go down this dark hole of disturbing things that I would have to do inside of there.
You just claw away, or are you trying to help? I don't know.
Who's helping you? Jorah's got the key. He's got the Eye of Agamotto.
Or you just sit there in the corner and it's like, oh, this sucks.
That's the worst way to
Want to
die.
have sex?
Yeah, I guess you just pump until you die.
Yeah.
Pump it till you die. And then
It's so funny when they're going through, like, they're trying to find enough trinkets and stuff to buy a ship. I remember the peacock when they're trying to dig out. And you see in the background they're carrying out a
fuck
peacock.
yeah.
Like, we finally got this.
This is one of the best endings for this season. Just Daenerys is successful, gets a little money, and season 3 might be the best Daenerys season. And this next scene, the ending for this episode, I totally forgot how this ended. For some reason I thought this was 3, but this leads right into season 3. Because when I was done watching this episode, season 3 just started, so I just started watching that too. And it's so good when you're just hearing all the battle sounds. But this right here, when they hear the 3 horns blow, they are shooketh.
Gren and Ed are out.
They didn't even wait for Sam. Run!
Well, they mentioned that next season. It's like, yeah, the fuck? What do you want us to do? And the White Walkers are back. We haven't seen them in a while. They're strutting. They're looking scary as all hell.
I'm so tired of people, too, that complain. What took them so long? There's a giant magical wall that won't let them go south.
They need to wait for the dragon.
Yeah. Like, what took them so long? They're not, like, traveling to the wall. They're just gathering their army, hopefully one day. They know that the magic of the dragons is back. It's like Piat Pri and his crew. They know that the power of the dragons is back, so their magic is getting stronger. They're waiting for an opportunity to maybe take down the wall. But this is a great cliffhanger. And the way that the White Walker looks at him, he gives him the look. You, fatty? Tell your boys what happened here.
Tell your friends.
Tell them that we're not coming because there's a giant magical wall that won't let us pass to the south, so that's what we're doing here. We're just accruing more soldiers by killing wildlings and then bringing them back from the dead with our necromancy powers. That's the Night King. You'll see him next season. But let them know what happened here.
It is an all-time cliffhanger. It sucks I have to wait a year to see what happens.
It's good, too, when he puts up that spear and the army is charging and... Yeah, that's...
Do I do a better White Walker than
you do
Ygritte?
a better White Walker than an Ygritte.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
definitely. And the end of this episode, it almost makes me want to review season 3 right away because it's one of those cliffhangers and it leads directly into season 3, episode 1. It's the same scene, and I love cliffhangers like that. But season 2 overall, I've said it so many times throughout our revisited series that season 2 is my favorite series, and it's really the rise and fall of Tyrion. It's obviously a hard road for him moving forward, but you see all his strengths in this season, the thinker that he is, the political maneuvering that he is capable of. It's his rise and fall because he ends this season in such a low point, and we kind of have to see him build himself back up. And he's great in season 3 and 4 too. But I love this. I love season 2 and 3 because it's the middle of the War of the Five Kings. You still have Robb. You still have the Stark men, what's going on with all the families that are involved in this war. You're getting more insight into the world and how big the world actually is and different types of magic like the Faceless Men, the House of the Undying.
Definitely opens up the magical aspect, especially with Melisandre as well.
Yeah. And the politics of season 2. This is where, especially Battle of Blackwater, it's, like I said, it went from the political drama to a political epic, and we see more of that moving forward. But this is, to me, the transition, especially late in the season, when you go from episode 7, 8, 9, 10 into season 3. So season 2, it's just my favorite season. It's a season that, because I've watched the show, I think I've watched it like 5 or 6 times through, but I think I've watched season 2 15 to 20 times.
Well, I've seen
it's always the season I go back to.
Watch Blackwater a crazy amount of times. That's a go-to episode.
Yeah.
And I think the votes are in, and we got it right here. All right, the MVP of season 2 is... These envelopes, tough to open.
Yeah, I mean, make sure you have the right one.
Here we go. Tyrion Lannister. Who won season 1? Ned, right? Did we do an MVP?
No, I guess Ned, definitely, because he's the best in that season.
No. Ned, Tyrion. Let's see who wins season 3. Who knows? Probably Daenerys. Season 6 is Cersei.
Hey guys, thank you for watching this video, and before we go, I want to quickly thank our Patreon supporters. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to grow and evolve as a channel, so thank you for your generous pledges. If you are interested in supporting our channel through Patreon, visit www.patreon.com/nerdsoup, and you can see the different rewards we offer to our Patreon supporters. T-shirts, mugs, stickers, access to our behind-the-scenes video, and more. Thanks again for watching this video, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Or dislike, don't share, and unsubscribe. It's a binary world, folks.